Hello and welcome to the Darkest Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're looking at this game Fractured Veil. It's finally coming out on January 18th of 2024, so just a few days away. The game looks amazing. The game's going to allow you to work with friends, build your own stuff in the game. It's a survival crafting building game, and it's set in like Hawaii. The islands of Hawaii. It's going to have mutants that you're going to be fighting against. The other great thing about this game, which I really like, is the developers decided to have a safe area, a social area, and a PvP type area. So I don't know if it's going to be similar to what we found in Black Desert or even in what was that Amazon one, New World, where there were certain zones, or even Arcade had certain zones that were out on the sides, out by the pale, and those areas were PvP, and it was more risk, more reward kind of thing in those areas. But with Arcade, you could also just be in an area that was safe, social. You just did your own thing. You fought against the baddies that were around you. In this case, it's mutants. And then if you want to take the risk into the PvP zones, you could do that. I mean, that's what I gonna like about this game, is you're not gonna feel that you're gonna be PK'd all the time. The texturing looks amazing. You can watch this video as I've been chatting away. The assets where you go to build things in this game just look phenomenal about what you'll be able to build, and it's gonna have the ambiance of Hawaii. So the building structures will probably look similar to what you find in that climate. So let's just go on to a couple pictures here. I think the game's going to have vehicles in it, because I've seen vehicles in a few of these videos. Well, look at this structure. I mean, that structure looks pretty cool, and that looks like it's man-made. It looks like somebody made that. That's one of the mutants there on that screen. I think there's going to be electricity, like in the front, the game the front, where you manage your own electricity. So there's probably going to have that in the game. I'm not sure if your structures themselves are going to have defensive capabilities. Like if I built something like you see on the screen here, well, I have electronic turrets like you have in the game in the front, where you can have the turrets, as long as they got power and ammo, they'll fire at whatever you ask them to fire at. I mean, that might be the case with this game. I am just really excited about getting this game and getting my hands on it and playing it. I would like to find a small group of people, so if you're out there in YouTube land and you've seen my videos and you want to pair up with me, I don't mind joining whatever zone you want to play in, PvP, safe, social, whatever, and we can just work together to do whatever we need to do to make it fun and enjoyable. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I stopped playing the front, is I just couldn't find a group of people to play with. And that's an amazing game. It's got a lot of stuff to it. But I think with this game, because of the safe and social areas, it just brings in a larger group of people willing to play the game and try the game out. All right, let's see if we could find something else that's it could tell us about. Survive the nightmare alone or with friends. You must gather, build, quest, craft, raid, defend the island's most terrifying mutants, monsters, and horrors. The worst of them all, other players, like in PvP. In-depth base building, which we talked about. PvP and PvE balanced quests. Countless dungeons ranging from small to Diablo-inspired spaces. RPG-inspired player progression with talents, abilities, and skills. I mean, come on, this game's going to have everything. Procedural buildings, roads, river systems, fight players, mutants, cannibals, and other animals to survive. Now, the question I guess most people might have is it going to be dedicated servers that they're going to have, or do we have to host our own dedicated servers? So let's go to Community Hub to see if we can find that answer. I like to go to discussions and just look at, does this game distinguish between PvE and PvP servers? Me too would like to know. Okay, so no developer responded to, okay, dedicated server. The game need dedicated private server. I don't understand why devs don't think about that before they make a survival. Okay, so is it just they're going to host servers? Because that's okay. I mean, having the developer take that baggage on is fine, but I bet it better not be a peer-to-peer connection. I mean, I just lose my crap at that point because that's just lame. Let's see if they ever answer the question about. I don't think there's a subscription fee. Single player. Okay, let me see here. Linux support. Okay. Somewhere, someone must have asked the question, how does the multiplayer work? Someone asking about nudity. Oh, you got that one. Okay, there's only three pages. Oh, here's another one called private servers. Okay, will this game eventually allow people to host their own private servers? Not host their own, but we have discussed allowing players to control their own private servers down the road. Okay, so this is actually the developer replying. So for what it's worth, in my corner of the internet, PvP means no sale. I know PvP is huge. Okay, I get that. I prefer solo in solo. That's why they want their own server. Same here. I represent 4 potential sales. But they're going to want their own dedicated server for those people. So this is the developer coming back to say we have PvE only zones, starting area and nearby areas that are PvE only. We heard our players would like the PvE zones to be bigger. I believe we will have to see how the game performs once we open our gates to everyone before deciding. But it's something that we can do quite easily. Okay, so it sounds to me they're hosting the baggage, they're hosting the servers. If you play on them, great. If you don't, like Arcade did. I mean, they didn't let you host it yourself. But they sound like they might consider that later on. But if they even compromise and make the safe areas bigger so people don't feel like they're like boxed in, then that's a compromise too that makes it work. But I do know those people that are out there that have 4 family members that play together. They like the peer-to-peer connection stuff. That's fine if that's the case. Or they like the dedicated server where they can password protect it and they can do whatever they want in their own little world and invite whoever they want. I get that. I totally understand that. But this game, to me, strikes me as a very social game, meaning that you're probably going to want to play it with more than 4 people to get everything out of the game. I mean, that's the way I look at it. So that's just me. I like social games. I don't mind if somebody is PKing me. I just kind of laugh about it and I kind of move on. I mean, as long as it's not a full loot drop problem, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's going to be the case here, where when you when you die, you drop all your loot. That can be problematic in a PvP environment because people don't like that. I mean, I understand taking a hit on the on abilities, durability loss and whatnot when you die. But to drop all your stuff and then not be able to find it again, that can be a problem. Well, this is it, folks. Definitely, it's going to be a buy for me. I'm going to be playing this on day 1, January 18th, 2024. Okay, well, thank you for joining me, and this has been the Tarkus Zone.